So the team behind Expedition 33 have admitted to using generative AI within the game and are defending it as just another tool, and are quoted as saying, "We use some AI, but not much." And of course, it is important to point out that Expedition 33 holds a historical record in the Game of the Year's award for just winning so many of the categories. What is going on, you guys? It is the Daily Pleb here. Make sure to like and subscribe for more gaming news. But to the full quote here, "We use some AI, but not much." Francois Maurice, producer of Clair Obscur, tells El Paris via video conference. "The key is that we were very clear about what we wanted to do and what to invest in. And of course, technology has allowed us to do things that were unthinkable a short time ago," explains Maurice, and he would continue to say, "Unreal Engine's 5 tools and assets have been very important in improving the graphics, gameplay, and cinematics." So yeah, I mean, there it is. We also had Arc Raiders come out and, they were using generative AI. Of course, that was for the actual voice lines. And as far as I know, we don't have specifics on what the generative AI was doing in Clair Obscur specifically. Maybe we'll find that out later. And then, of course, Larian is also going to be using generative AI in their new game as well. So this is a pretty big deal. Where you have a game such as Expedition 33 that is just so good. Expedition 33 is a game that many people played, like myself, who aren't really this sort of JRPG enjoyers, but it managed to hook me in. Expedition 33 is probably, I'd say one of the top 5 games I've ever played, and the fact that a game this good was made with some sort of generative AI, once again, we don't have specifics, so it's hard to really, talk about it really, just goes to show how good AI and generative AI is getting for video games. And we've seen a lot of pushback. I mentioned, a few moments ago that Larian is going to be using generative AI for like some concept art in their new game, and a lot of people were flipping out over it. And I think this hatred towards AI is going to soften a lot, just based on it makes life easier for developers, which I know isn't popular. And at the end of the day, people are going to lose their jobs somewhere along the line, where essentially, maybe only the top 10 of artists are going to keep their jobs at these places while the other ones are going to get cut. I don't know. I know the emotional response is to say, this sucks and we shouldn't support it. And I agree, if a game is garbage, you shouldn't be supporting it anyway. But the fact of the matter is, if these games like Expedition 33, like Arc Raiders, like, Larian's new Divinity game, if they're good, people are going to buy them. And it doesn't really matter if it has AI or not. There is a game out right now on Steam. It's like Mortis or something else. And essentially it's a Vampire Survivors, like game, completely made by AI. And people love it. They're really enjoying it. I personally downloaded it to see what it was like. And while it's not my favorite, Vampire Survivor-esque game, it is half decent. I actually don't mind it. And playing that game, and even if you don't like AI or whatever, or you're against it, I recommend you play the game on Steam. It is completely free. And because it shows that this is where AI has gotten. It went from making cheap, corn of your favorite anime girls on Twitter to making gaming, making games, which is insane, really, when you think about it. Just the short amount of time that generative AI has really been in the spotlight. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of, what the community is going on. I think I've yapped enough for right now. So Figs here. There should be no shame in using AI in anything as long as it is good. it is fine. Just don't be lazy with like what happened in Black Ops 7. And that's the thing, you know, I think the hate for AI really comes with, well, obviously the moral superiority of saying, you know, I care about these people or whatever. So obviously there's that, but it also comes from, we just have seen so much crap. You know, there is indeed AI slop. You know, things are just garbage. Like Figs is saying here with Black Ops 7, where they just are lazy with the artwork and it's clearly AI, or the new like McDonald's ads that use AI that just look comical. So I think a lot of the problem also with AI is just, you know, they're not actually trying to make it good. If AI is just speeding up the boring parts and the team is transparent about it, I am fine with it. What matters is the final game and whether or not it feels handcrafted. And once again, I have to agree with this guy here. You know, a lot of people think of AI as, you know, just stealing the artwork, but the fact of the matter is, if you're an artist, you know, a lot of the cleanup work can be done via AI. You know, you can completely get rid of that. You know, helping you with color correction can be done with an AI. There are a lot of things that can really help just using AI. Then of course you have the big brain take by people who hate AI just in general. It's slop, which is hilarious considering it is quite literally one of the best games to be made in a long time. But you know, that's not going to stop these people. Everyone is using AI as a tool. Companies who won't are going to get left behind. I think this is in general true. AI is a developer tool is good. AI replacing the developer is bad. It's that simple. I think over time AI is just going to replace developers eventually. And I think we need to be having a conversation on when that happens, what happens to those people. I think is the more important conversation. Pretending that it's never going to replace developers is just insane. But, you know, personally, I see nothing wrong with this, though just as a warning, not disclosing this on Steam is a bannable offense, which I think the fact we have to say that about a game of the year is kind of insane, which is also, I think, is important. You know, as someone, as I've said before, I'm a big supporter of AI. I think eventually it's going to be a gaming standard and be in everything. But I do like the label of letting me know that it's AI, because there is a lot of AI slop out there. You know, it's kind of the thing with like Steam and early access. When I see an early access game, I know that it's not as bad as it is, it's not as bad now as it was, but used to, when you saw early access, it was a clear sign to stay away from the game because it was not going to be good and it was never going to get finished, and you were essentially, you know, just going to lose your money. So I think it is important to let buyers know, but it's also important to know that AI is the worst it's ever going to be, and it's only going to get better. So I think, you know, really, I don't know how we maneuver around this situation, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is kind of the news in the circulation. It is kind of surprising. I mean, I beat Expedition 33 and I don't know where the AI, what it was used for. I hope they eventually reveal the specifics. But clearly it was so good that I didn't notice. So there is that. And where do we go from here? You know? So let me know what you think down below in the comments. What is your opinion on this? Have you played Expedition 33? Do you know what the AI was used for? Because I sure don't. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? You know, just let me know what you think down below. And of course, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel so I can make more content. And I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye-bye now.